I don't know how to use this phrase properly, but I've heard it a lot.
Okay.
When you would refer to like an ick moment for somebody. I think he had a few ick moments for his teammates. Did he not?
Now, from the Connors and Ferris podcast studio, this is Buffalo Plus, your interactive look at the week in football.
Welcome back to the Buffalo Plus podcast. Mike Catalana, Dan Fates. I am Jenna Cottrell. Please be sure to like, comment, subscribe, and share. We are here in the Connors and Ferris podcast studio. Today, we're going to be talking about the Super Bowl. Our takeaways from last night's Sunday night's game as the Seattle Seahawks winning and beating the Patriots 29-13. So our take on that, what it means now for the Bills, as well as a little life advice at Hey Buffalo Plus. We had a lot of fun with that. All right, so
shout out Winstead, Connecticut.
Yes. Do you want to explain that?
Do you want to explain
I think we
that?
just let it be. No, I'm just kidding.
No, we have to. Okay, go ahead.
No, you do it.
So we got some analytics back. We had a great meeting talking about Buffalo Plus.
With our corporate people.
Yeah, and how to take Buffalo Plus to the moon. And
Big things coming.
They did a lot of data, and they found, our top 20 markets where people listen to us, people watch our content. And, Rochester, Buffalo, Syracuse,
New York City.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Winstead, Connecticut.
Shout out Winstead, Connecticut.
Yes.
If you're from that area,
you gotta let us know.
Drop in the comment about the person that would podcast Pete. Shout out Pete was helping us with a big fan and helping us within the company.
We love Pete.
Goes, do you guys have family there? And I said, not that I'm aware of.
No.
But
if it would have been Laramie, Wyoming, I would have said, okay, I get it.
Yeah.
Winstead, Connecticut.
Yeah,
Yes.
very funny. So shout out Winstead, Connecticut. Winstead, Connecticut.
So for them today, I dressed like a finance pro today. For Connecticut, it's Connecticut, right?
Yeah.
A lot of finance bros in Connecticut.
Are there?
Connecticut?
In Connecticut?
Where is it in Connecticut?
I'm actually looking it up right now.
Yes.
Okay.
It's in Connecticut.
We should do this to start
You mean,
every
is it
single.
commutable Connecticut?
Correct.
Yeah. Yes.
We should do this.
It's outside of New Hartford.
New Hartford, I think, is where near ESPN.
Bristol.
Bristol, but I think Hartford's not very far either.
This is what makes Buffalo Plus great.
Well,
I think we just give random shout outs.
And I just made them finance bros.
It's 30 minutes from Bristol.
Oh, okay.
So it's not close to the city.
I don't know. Okay, let's get on with it. Michael?
Yes.
The Patriots lost in the Super Bowl. What'd you make of it?
I know where Mike's going with this.
Well, the first thing I would say is congrats to them for getting that team to the Super Bowl. Because let's be honest, and I think even the Patriots know this, they were not a great team. They were a team that took advantage of all their circumstances, and they won a ton of games. They made the Super Bowl in large part because they came to Buffalo early in the year and beat the Bills. Put the Bills on their heels the rest of the year. That Dolphins loss put it in the back seat. I don't think without that win, this team wins the division. If they don't win the division, they don't get a high seed. Oh, I get fined for that.
Nice. Look at Mike.
I think that, I think I know what that was. I'm getting invited to play golf. Free golf.
Oh, my goodness. Of course.
The outfit very much fits.
We live streaming this?
Yeah.
No, but I would say that they took advantage of all that. But when they got there against that team, they got handled in the game. And I don't think the final score reflects the way the game was. They got dominated in the game. It was a rough day for them. And
it's back focused.
Is the focus bad?
No,
so
now
sometimes it picks up Mike's laptop. Both you guys with your laptops, sometimes it picks up your laptop as focus. I know we've had people comment in about our cameras.
Yeah.
Sometimes things are out of focus. We're doing our best.
So to the point of the game went, I picked 31-17. It ended up being roughly that kind of score. I thought Seattle's defense obviously was the dominant one of the game. And the truth is, if Sam Darnold could hit on a few throws, because he did not have a great game, the game would have been a blowout.
See what really this is that Mike's Philly is coming out a little bit because he's a little bit annoyed by how much love the Seattle defense is getting.
It's not about being
no,
annoyed.
it is. Just admit it. It's okay.
Yeah, I know everybody is prisoner of the moment. They watched the.
I nailed it.
Okay, so they watched a game in the snow, the Patriots, and it was Romo. It was like, when have we ever had a game like this? That was the Eagles and Rams the year before. And then they're talking about in the Super Bowl, when have we seen a team be this dominant on the defense? I mean, that was Patrick Mahomes, Travis Kelce, Andy Reid, 2-time Super Bowl champs, in a different way than Seattle did it. I would say the Seattle way is pretty damn entertaining because they come with blitzes from everywhere, and they just tortured Drake May in that game. I mean, he was off whatever game he was going to have from that first blitz when they got him on the sack. And it's funny, with Sam Darnold in the game, Drake May was seeing ghosts in that game.
Oh,
Drake
sure.
May was seeing ghosts. Will Campbell was seeing ghosts. Like
Maybe Mike Vrabel too.
Yeah, this was, and
Some
that's
of those
where
coaching decisions.
that's why it was funny, because I kept thinking, like, is this the worst performance we've seen in a first half from a quarterback? And it's like, no, last year Patrick Mahomes was horrendous. And
Yeah.
as Mike pointed out earlier today when we were in the car together, Mike pointed out the Eagles or the Chiefs didn't have their second first down until the third quarter.
Well, they got
Like,
one on their first drive.
see,
No, but I'm saying is but that game went that way. Like, they had a couple of good runs. Seattle gave up a couple of his plays. But when he dropped back to pass, it was Armageddon. And I think what would concern me if I'm the Patriots is my quarterback and my left tackle, my top picks the last 2 years.
and your left guard.
Yeah, they were bad.
I mean,
But this is your fourth overall pick?
Yeah.
Whatever it
Fourth,
was.
yeah.
And your quarterback, Drake May, was really good this year. He was not good in the playoffs.
yeah, I have a hot take, which maybe isn't even that hot of a take.
Uh-oh.
I don't think the Patriots are making the playoffs next year.
I don't think that's that hot of a take.
The last two
So
teams-
I prefaced that. I don't think it's that hot.
The last two teams that lost in the Super Bowl missed the playoffs the next year. And the Eagles made it the other year when they had lost the Super Bowl, and they they got in and they got beat in the wild card round.
Yeah.
So the last 3 years, the team obviously didn't win a playoff game. So it is a tough thing to get all the way to the Super Bowl and lose. That's where you have to give the Chiefs a lot of credit. I know nobody wants to do that. They keep going back and getting to the championship games and getting back to the Super Bowl. It's tough it's tough to get there. It's harder to get back.
Yeah.
So, Dan, that is a pretty hot take, though.
Mildly spicy. On the hot ones, it'd be like 6 or 7. I don't think it's the hottest one, because look, I watched that game, and as soon as the Seahawks won their game in the conference championship, I instantly placed the bet and locked it in at 3.5. Because now, again, the Patriots have been a part of a lot of weird Super Bowls and have won Super Bowls where they are not as the more talented team. But the Seahawks were just so much better at pretty much every single position.
Yeah.
So I looked at that and I went, this is, now again, they had the advantage of a lot of guys. Milton Williams has played in Super Bowls. Vrabel's known how to coach him. Josh McDaniels had coached in a ton of them, like all of those things. But it felt like a week 8 Thursday night football game. Like how, and again, I know people are like, oh, it was an awesome defensive showing. And I get it. And the Seahawks defense deserves a ton of credit. I really want to knock down what the Patriots offense was, because there were guys that were open and Drake May just missed them. And give credit, I guess, to the Seahawks for the constant pressure that even when he had time, he missed throws, but there were guys open. It wasn't like the Seahawks had everything locked down. Hunter Henry was wide open for probably would have been a 50-yard gain early in the third quarter that could have flipped the game around, and he's missed him by a country mile. Like that was a spot where country mile?
No,
No, you're good.
I was just going to say, you loved the game, didn't you?
I was literally thinking to myself, that was awesome. And it wasn't high flying, watch the offense go, or, oh my gosh, points galore. It was just watching the Patriots that had talked so much smack about how no one believes in us and no one thought we could get here. And then in the big moments, the offense just crumbling, and seeing how this team, we talked about the schedule all year long and them being in last place and how they had a fluky way to get to the postseason in terms of the playoff wins they had to go through. And then having it the biggest moment, Drake May getting sacked 6-7 times, multiple turnovers, multiple costly turnovers. It just felt like a little bit of redemption, I feel like, for other people that were like, I didn't think that Drake May was the MVP this season. And he played well in the regular season, but to be the team to go all the way to the Super Bowl and then go out like that, it was awesome to watch as not a Patriots fan. But if you're a Patriots fan, you got to be like, damn, ugly game. And you have questions now about Drake May, because since he has played the Bills, and Warren Sharp had talked about how Sean McDermott, his defense covers who, but how cover 6, how effective that was against Drake May earlier on at the end of the regular season, and how it's a copycat league and other teams are going to adopt that. And you've seen other teams play that. And just the unsure footing that Drake May has been on since that game. And look, he's won games, but I think you look at it as more of the defense was the job that got it done for the Patriots to get there. But watching that game, it was awesome, because it kind of was like you talked a lot of smack and it all went down like that.
So that's your PG version? Give us the PG-13 version of what you were saying in the group text.
I don't think I can. I don't.
Jenna
that
really enjoyed the game.
I did, because
well, first of all, if this was any other team, you might be thinking, oh, but it's just that aura of the Patriots and what they have been. And you felt like if they had a good game and they somehow won, it would all kick back in. Like,
I agree.
This was not Tom Brady losing 41-33 in the Super Bowl and it's back and forth.
Correct.
This was an ass whooping.
Mm-hmm.
Like, it was similar to last year in a sense of like one team was a lot better and the quarterback was lost. And, it's the difference is with Mahomes last year. I mean, that was bad offensive line. That is so rare for him. He looks so lost. Drake May hasn't been there yet. And I made this point of saying, hey, if Josh Allen somehow played 4 playoff games in 2019, who knows what he might have done, because he didn't have the experience. Somehow Drake May and the Patriots won those other games.
Yep.
And they did it with defense and some good fortune and
well, yeah, I do think I agree with what you're saying. Like, it was awesome to watch the game as a non-Patriots fan. But if I am a Patriots fan, it's like, okay, Drake May, it was in his second season. You see the connection that Mike Vrabel has, Josh McDaniels, like, kind of the proof of concept. You saw how good that defense is. Now, teams are obviously going to be different year after year. What are they going to do? Like, Stephon Diggs being a non-factor was kind of funny. But just in general.
But he did spin that football.
Yeah. But just in general, I think if you're a Patriots fan, you are hopeful about the team and the direction that they are going.
When you talk to your friends that are Patriots fans, you're like, oh, it's, or you talk to other people, you're like, May's fine, he was great. But when you talk to your friends who are really fans of the team, you're like, he didn't really look good.
Yeah.
Like, there has got to be a little level of concern. And he's young, and we can really say this, second year in the league. But my only point is, usually a guy would not have 4 opportunities to play as poorly as he did and still advance. So he put up some tragically bad numbers, made a few nice plays with his legs, had a couple of nice throws in that Chargers game. Like, you have to really search for the really good stuff, except for Mac Hollins making plays.
Of course he did.
Of course it's Mac Hollins.
Yeah. I was telling Mike that if I'm Drake May's PR, I'm getting a minor surgery. I'm getting something. I'm getting something. I'm getting something on the books. I'm checking in to a facility to get some work done.
I do love how after the game he said, I did get an injection. When I first saw that, I was like, ooh, loser's limp. But then he said, I listened, he was like, but it didn't affect me.
Yeah.
And I'm like, okay, you said the right things in my eyes. Yes, your shoulder bothering you. You had to get an injection or do whatever, but that is not why you played that way.
He also said,
I like that he owned it. That's accountability.
He goes, I'd like to start the whole game over and do it right.
Yeah.
Josh played 5 weeks with a broken foot. Like, we're going to sit here and...
No,
but I'm saying that the mindset, I think that's important mindset for Drake May to have. And that shows me that he is resilient, is the fact that he can be accountable in that moment.
That's what I did like what Vrabel said in that point. He goes, yeah, we can learn from this if we actually learn from it and get better to get back in that spot. We got outplayed. We got outcoached. did get outcoached. Mike Vrabel gets a lot of flowers, and he deserves it for this year because he took a team that was one of the worst and got him to the Super Bowl, which is crazy good. And he had to coach his butt off to get this team to the Super Bowl because their offense really didn't give them a ton. The defense played well. They were situationally good. As a head coach, I thought the Super Bowl was too big for him. I did not think he had a good day. I think he should have been more aggressive. I know the idea was, 12-0, you've got the ball 4th and 3 and you're punting the ball. It was like it was punt, 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 punt. And then late in the game, not going for 2.
Yeah.
It's just, that is a brain fart there for him. Like, you cannot do that when they were kind of back in the game.
Yeah.
Couldn't have gotten themselves within the 2 scores. So I just thought the whole vibe of his team were on their heels the whole way, except for Christian Gonzalez, who was really good.
Yes, he's an he's
honestly, they didn't have a lot of spark. And at some point, turn your team loose a little bit. See what you got.
But that's, I tweeted that. I felt like they were playing like they were in a blizzard again. Like it was just so conservative.
Maybe they thought Jarrett Stidham was still their quarterback.
Maybe.
They played a bit like the way the Broncos played.
And I get it. Like, the Patriots went to the Super Bowl.
And the Bills have not been.
Correct. Like, I get all that stuff. That was an embarrassing way to lose because it was not a game. Like, very early on, like, they had 53 yards of offense, and the joke was like Bad Bunny had more yards of offense in the halftime show carrying the football than the Patriots offense did. Like, all of those things. It was one of those things where it's like, when we talked about schedule merchants and all those things, it was like, we weren't wrong. We were just early. Like, it all came to fruition there. And again, I don't really know if it would have mattered who from the AFC played Seattle, because they were so dominant. They really were. And there would have been better games.
Jacksonville would have given them a better game.
Again,
Bills would have given them a better game.
Healthy Denver.
Yes, all of those things. But it did feel like that was the first time where you felt they were the team that had the easiest schedule in 3 decades playing on that stage. And this, all of the nobody believes in us, we're proving all the doubters wrong. It was like, it had that feeling of,
shout out the haters.
Yeah.
By the way, and Drake May
was a little bit of that.
Nothing really wrong. He doesn't talk any trash. He seems like a good.
I have a take on Drake May.
Okay, so do it before I tell you, because let me just say this. He does elicit some phenomenal nicknames. It started out with Drake Maybe in the beginning.
Yes.
The schedule
is pretty good.
The schedule is pretty
good. I saw Drake Meh.
Yeah.
Yes. that was pretty good.
And again, he had a very good season. I think he was awesome in the regular season.
He does a lot of things really well. He can move. He's got a great arm. He threw the deep ball, all those things. But I thought he got rattled in the game.
He looked like Eli.
Did not have a good game. His tackle.
Well, he's the best scrambler in the NFL.
Yeah. I love Tirico, but like,
best scrambling quarterback in the NFL.
Say statistically.
He did catch his.
I'll
say this.
And Tirico might have had his mind on he's doing the Olympics 10 minutes after the game.
And we've had Giardi, who is the president of the Drake May fan club. And I don't mean this as hard as it's probably going to come across.
Oh boy.
He's got like negative aura. Like, and I go back to his first down ceiling run against Denver when he got up and did like the weirdest like first down thing. Like, I think about even Phillip Rivers, like Peyton Manning, like obviously Josh has aura, like where it's just like you feel like the team feeds off their energy. Drake May to me just has like meh energy.
Yeah, you could say that. So at the game, you saw Joe Montana out there.
Yeah.
Joe Montana, Joe Cool, very laid back in the way he did everything. I think
not high.
Yes.
But in the way of doing that is part of like,
I think you have to be who you are. I think that's who Drake May is. Am I missing something there?
No, I agree. I think that he is kind of like vanilla, but personally, I would rather have that than, but I'm just not. Like, Joe Burrow does way too much for me. But he's a very good quarterback, and I'm not denying that. I think that I agree with Mike. I think it has to be authentic, and he's also young. Like, I think it's Josh. early on had charisma, obviously, but he had aura, but he was a very raw prospect. And I think Josh is not like a raw leader. It's everyone believes in him because of who he is. You're having like a visceral reaction.
He's not.
Josh is
rah-rah
not a
leader.
raw leader. He's not a very
But
vocal leader. He leads by example.
Right. But I think of the first Jacksonville game after Jalen Ramsey said he was trash and he's flexing in the end zone. Like, I think of like that type of aura that Josh gives off permeates through the team.
I think aura though and leadership are different.
100%.
The point I'm
not calling out his leadership.
Yeah, no, the point I'm making though is I think it's still early on in Drake May's career.
Yeah.
I think it's hard for him. It's hard to judge if he has aura or not because he's such a raw player right now and he's so young in terms of what he's
did
doing.
We talk about with Josh back then? The team was like, hey, like I think they wanted him to take a more active role as it went along, because Diggs brought a lot of that to the team at the time.
I'm not talking about asshole.
I didn't say you had to be that. I'm just saying I think Josh became more and more of his team.
I think he's like Mayo, like a literal like
Drake Mayo.
Maybe
that's who he is. That's who he's going to be. I mean, I don't see Sam Darnold as like some phenomenal outward leader. You say that about Burrow. Jalen Hurts is certainly not that way. I mean, there's a lot of guys that are not. I think Drake May is still pretty young. I guess it's aware of who you are. He's been elevated to a higher level than normally you would see.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, Mahomes did it, obviously.
Do you think Mahomes has aura?
Yes. 100%. And I don't want to get into this like big discussion about like aura talk. Like this is very sports talk radio all of a sudden. And I didn't mean to go down this path, but like, I guess
when he said, I have a hot take.
No, go ahead. What?
Just of when Drake May runs out of the tunnel, it's different than when other guys, even Jaden Daniels, Caleb Williams, there's something
I would agree
to them.
Yes.
Okay. Again, the aura is the presence. And again, I'm not saying that Drake May is not a good quarterback. He's number 2 in the MVP, all of those things. And I think he could be a great quarterback. I'm just saying that when he has the ball in his hands or players look at him from the outside, I'm just saying it isn't like those guys. Even Justin Herbert has something to him in my impression, in my opinion.
Okay, I get what you're saying now.
I was just thinking of what he showed to his teammates in the playoffs. I don't know how to use this phrase properly, but I've heard it a lot.
Okay.
When you would refer to like an ick moment for somebody. I think he had a few ick moments for his teammates. Did he not? Where they were like,
yeah.
In the regular season, he was like, ball's coming out, deep ball. You got in the playoffs and you're like,
Drake May gave you the ick.
I think for his teammates, a little like they got to unsee some of the bad things he did in the playoffs.
I think you nailed it. Honestly.
Look at that.
Ick, aura,
ick.
Well, only because
there's the open.
Because of him, it's like, hey, we got Drake May. We're winning. And then you get in the biggest moments, and he is not. And it might be a legitimate place for a second-year quarterback to be.
Agreed.
Right. But he elevated a little bit, and like, there's a really bad outfit he was wearing, and he had something on his, you know.
You went back to his apartment and he had like some movie posters like taped to the wall, and you're like, this is weird.
Yeah.
Like,
I mean, just that part. He did not look the part. In really, he had a couple moments in those other playoff games. Again, but that was mostly running the ball. So,
but I even go back to he's on, and I know this is like sometimes you get to see behind the curtain, and that's not always fair because it is sometimes like tough moments, but like. He's sitting there in the Denver game on the bench. He's like, this is really hard. And like Josh McDaniels is like, hey, like, don't worry. I got you. And then it's going to be the greatest reward, which is great coaching.
They were doing it yesterday.
Right.
They said Vrabel kept going over
positive enforcement, reinforcement.
Well, he's still, yes. So the issue is there is no guarantee. You said maybe not making the playoffs. Like I made the point before to somebody, he's like, Dan Marino made it his second year. Dan Marino also set like every passing record
Correct.
and was an incredible player and got let down by his team in many, many moments.
Nope. They were all Dan
That's right,
Marino's
it was all
fault.
his fault. He had to play against the Bills and
Also,
all their Hall of Famers.
we glanced over the fact Sean McDermott did something good defensively.
Imagine that.
Yeah.
Just
Fought
wanted,
the whole league.
just wanted to put that
So-
out there.
Copycat league.
So if you're Drake May and Josh McDaniels, like that is something they got to work on. I thought Josh McDaniels had a terrible game.
Yep.
They had to help their tackle. I don't understand this when teams just see it. They're losing it the whole time. You need to help the
the
guy.
lack of adjustments.
Yeah,
Yeah.
they were bad. And Stephon Diggs, you mentioned, was a non-factor in the game. Total non. And I think Diggs is moving on from the Patriots.
I think the Patriots are moving on.
Yeah,
from Diggs.
that's what I'm saying. Yes,
Yeah.
that's a better way to put it. I think it's going to be a one and done. He's got his off the field issues. He was very good for them in
Yeah.
his moments. They know they need more.
Yep.
And somebody without all the other stuff. And I think they can move on pretty easily from the contract.
Like I said, they can draft well. They can fill some holes in free agency and be right back. Their defense is really good. When you have Christian Gonzalez doing what he's doing, like it makes defense a lot easier. But I just look at that roster and I just see a lot of flaws. I just see a offensive line that is not great, and I see some decent running back, a decent running back or two. But that roster to me did not look like a Super Bowl caliber roster that was playing in that game.
So where are the Bills?
So where are the Bills?
I feel better about them in the AFC, or about the same. Just if you think about Josh Allen, the guys they have, the team we know. The difference is we don't know this team yet for the Bills. It's going to be so different. And so that part gives you a little pause of just saying, okay, maybe it works out great with Joe. He hasn't been the head coach yet, but let's see. And you talk about all the stuff that's going to go on next year with the schedule. They, like, both these teams have a tougher schedule, than they had this year. So we see how it plays out. And the AFC's got some teams. Like Denver has a lot of talent. Jacksonville has a lot of talent, right? Kansas City, who knows when Mahomes will be back, but it's still Kansas City.
It's an oil change.
Baltimore with a new head coach. Like, let's see how that all plays out. And then there'll be a surprise team. There usually is.
Yeah.
So in that case, but yeah, I think if you're the Bills, you're a little bit of like this idea that the juggernaut Patriots are now going to rule the division. They might win it next year, but it's not like you're thinking, oh boy, this team is really loaded. Both teams have a lot of work to do in the offseason.
They showed their flaws on the biggest stage.
Yeah.
I do think if I'm the Bills, it's so hard because we've come to expect a certain level out of the Bills with Sean McDermott, and knowing you really knew what the floor was. You felt like you knew that. Now it's like, I don't know what the floor of this team is. And I know they made this change because they wanted to raise the ceiling, and that is left to still be seen how that goes. But it is a tough spot for me to sit here and be like, I feel better about the Bills, because I still think there's a lot of roster work that needs to be done because of the flaws and the glaring holes on this roster that were there last season, it felt like. And obviously they invested. I got to stop saying obviously. I'm sorry. They invested.
What do I have to stop saying?
And again.
Have I done it a lot today?
Yes.
Yes.
We also need to stop saying all those things. I need to stop doing that too. But they've invested.
Obviously, we shouldn't say all those things.
But they've invested a lot in that defensive line, whether it be through free agency or draft capital, and they still have not seen results. Now, being a new scheme, does that mean you find new players and you have better fits for the guys you currently have? It's just, there's a level of projection, I feel like, this offseason that we haven't had because of all the changes that have gone on in Orchard Park.
Yeah. Two things stood out to me. Looking at, because what always happens is we see what happens in the Super Bowl and then we overreact. Last year it was Milton Williams and the Eagles D-line, and it's like everybody's just going to have 4 all-pros and they're going to get to the quarterback, and that's how you win.
And quick timeout. That's not the way the Eagles D-line played most of the year.
Correct.
Which is why it's kind of wild that they were so dominant in that game. They were good. They were not like that. And so you never know how. But you're right. Everybody overreacted to like, yes, this is the way. 4 guys on the D-line. And then you watch a team play Sunday and they're like, they are coming at you at every angle
Yeah.
to get after the quarterback.
So I looked at it and I thought, I really value even more now having a true number one wide receiver. Because for as good as Seattle's defense is and was this entire year, historically a top 10 defense, all their numbers and metrics, they allowed 14 points per game to every team not named the LA Rams. And against the Rams, they allowed 29 points per game. So that's a great quarterback, a great offense. And the way to neutralize a really good defense is to have a Puka Nacua or a Devontae Adams. Like, Sean McVay deserves a ton of credit for putting up the numbers and yards that he did against that really good defense. And you saw last night that when you don't have that guy that can be the safety valve and the get out of jail free card and the, hey, we're just going to throw it to this guy because he's going to get us 12 yards and a first down and we're going to get the offense moving. I looked at that and I said, that's something that the Bills are missing. And I think that the knee-jerk reaction too is, well, it's another defensive masterclass. Like, it's defense. You got to have a great defense to win. I go back to the Seahawks defense and what I just said, 14 points per game against every team not named the Rams. They allowed 27 points in the conference championship game and could have lost that game. And would we be sitting here talking about the Seahawks defense as this great defense? Yeah. We wouldn't, because the Seahawks offense scored 31 points in that game. I think the knee-jerk reaction is, we'll go reload the defense. Go build a juggernaut of a defense and spend 5 more draft picks on the defensive side of the ball. I go the other way and say that some games, no matter how good your defense is, you got to score 30. And when push comes to shove, like the Bills had in times, I know they gave up. The Chiefs hadn't scored 26 points or 30 points all season, and then they did against them. And you're going, man, another Sean McDermott defense was let down. I look at it the other way and go, yeah, sometimes your offense has to bail out your defense. And that's what I think the Seahawks got for a lot of the postseason was, man, the defense was good, but there are times when your quarterback and your players need to make plays. And credit to Sam Darnold, credit to the offensive line, credit to Kenneth Walker. Like, they all made plays.
Yeah. JSN was not a factor in this game. Should have been. He was wide open on that early one. Darnold got pressured and missed him. That would have been a long touchdown. He had another one. Great play by Gonzalez. Kept him from making the long play. 2 years in a row, the offensive player of the year. Last year was the Eagles with Barkley. Not great in the Super Bowl. They don't get to the Super Bowl without Barkley. JSN helped carry this team.
Yep.
Sam Darnold is a good quarterback. JSN makes him considerably better. He just does. Josh Allen needs that. And I have a crazy idea. You said about going for defense or offense. Why don't you try to do both?
Two things can be true.
Yeah. You can get a wide receiver and you can help with the defense. And I know you're going to say salary cap. I know people are going to say, well, they have issues with the cap. And I'm going to use my line again here. The Bills will talk about it, and Brandon Beane will say it a lot of times that, well, we got our quarterback, and you got to pay your quarterback, and that makes it tough. The Bills' issues with the salary cap are more Josh Palmer than they are Josh Allen. You sign players. Josh Palmer was hurt. Maybe wasn't as effective. But when you sign players in positions like that and pay them a substantial amount of money and do not get the return, that's what hurts your cap. Not as much of paying your phenomenal quarterback that you can keep kicking it down the road every year, which is what they've done. It's the guys who let you down, who make too much money. Curtis Samuel. It's a lot of the wide receivers. That has been the problem. D-line. It's like Joey Bosa not coming through for you in the playoff games. Like, all of those type of things hurt you more than paying your superstar quarterback who keeps you in every game. So go do both. Draft well. Sign the right free agents in the right positions. I'd spend more money on free agency for the types of players that he wants in that defense, that Jim Leonard wants. They're not all going to be big names. They shouldn't be first guy off the board at the free agency. Should be guys that Jim Leonard knows you can get them here and get this system started. Draft again, but get Josh a wide receiver.
Yeah, I do think this season
really
too.
Good.
He's Hall of Famer for a reason.
The Josh Allen versus Josh Palmer line.
It's so good.
We're gonna
I've honestly, I would love to steal it, but you've said it on here too many times that I can't.
I thrown it out a few times. It's my line.
Yeah.
It's my line.
It is true, but I do think Bean will be very motivated this year because of all the changes made and because of the expectations on this Bills team that he will have to work to get players that fit Jim Leonard's system and then also can help Josh Allen be Josh Allen as opposed to having to throw to guys that he seemingly looked like he did not trust.
And that may take being aggressive in an odd way, being aggressive by letting players go.
And I think this year, the changes that have been made gives more opportunity for that.
And that might even include the offense, though. Like, I like Connor McGovern a lot. I think he's going to get paid a lot in free agency. I don't know if they're going to step up and pay him. Like, I'm not saying whether they should or they shouldn't. He's the type of player I think I would want to bring back, and maybe they do. But sometimes you make the move, and if you have a guy to fill in that spot, or you get a player,
what's the alternative? Tell me the alternative.
I think you feel confident if you're Brandon Bean that you were able to move on from Mitch Morse.
Yeah.
You found Connor McGovern, that you are confident that you can find the next guy. And maybe the next guy is on the roster already with Cedric Van Pran Granger.
Right.
I think that is, the Bills have done a good job of building an offensive line that has been able to be prepared for Josh Allen. Like that has been a fact. But I think if you are Bean, you look at, and even David Edwards.
Correct.
I don't expect him to be back.
Yeah, I think
either.
Edwards played himself out of Buffalo in a great way for himself.
Right.
That's where I'm concerned is, like, if you're going to tell me I'm going to spend that money, save that money, and again, we can't look in the crystal ball. You know, this is pre-hindsight, foresight.
What are you trying to say?
What are you trying to say?
What I'm trying to say is we obviously won't know how the move, hypothetically, they move on from Connor McGovern and they spend it on a defensive end. Okay, they go get Max Crosby. We don't know, obviously, how the person would play. But if you could tell me we're going to do this, move on from Connor McGovern to get something, a wide receiver, to go get Marvin Harrison Jr.
What if you're just getting another center who's going to cost you half of the amount of money?
That worries me in the sense I don't want to in a weird way, their fastball now is their running game. And I don't want to lose that.
I don't disagree with you, except you're now going to, and I like McGovern. That's why I said I would like him, but now he's going to cost you a lot more money. Because you either have to franchise tag him, or he's not dumb. He's going to be gone. Somebody's going to pay me.
Yeah, he's also 28. Like, this is an opportunity for him to have a nice, big contract.
Yeah.
And if it is Cedric Van Pran Granger, it's going to be bad for me for trying to get that right. Like,
I'm bad with that.
Okay. But it's also when Connor McGovern went out in games and didn't start, like, they didn't go to him in those moments. That concerns me that you weren't even having the confidence in them to take a few snaps in a game because they would go to Alec Anderson, who was the kind of swing lineman.
Aaron Cromer's not the offensive line coach.
You bring up, these are all good points.
I have one other point, and we have.
Is this a bad point?
Is it a bad point?
Because she goes, these are all good points. And you said, I have one other point.
No, it's something I wanted. I'm looking at a picture we have of Joe Brady over there. And I'm thinking, maybe this is just the way my mind works. But Joe Brady's adding a lot to his plate. Obviously, he's the head coach now. He's also calling the plays from being on the field. That's very different, isn't it?
For sure.
You guys are on the field.
So he was on the field before.
On the field, but he wasn't calling the plays then.
Correct.
I think it's very different. That is going to be an adjustment for him. You see the field. Also, you guys also know, even like, I know this sounds funny, but even in the bad weather and all those things, it has to be cumbersome to be a play caller with all that going on. You know, you got your laminated sheet and all, as opposed to sitting in a box. You're looking at it from above everything. I just mean with everything else going on. I mean, Sean McVay does it in LA, usually in nice weather, and he's been doing it basically his whole career. I just think of that as an adjustment a little bit. Now, I know he's got Pete upstairs, and that's going to be his right-hand guy, and I think that will help a great deal. But I was just thinking about that. That guy, in any other case, that's a big adjustment for him to be on the field calling the plays as opposed to seeing from up top.
I totally agree. And that's another added layer of an adjustment period for Brady for the season.
And plus, that is he doesn't have a side of the ball.
You're right. He said that.
I thought your point was going to be off of the O-line.
No, I just was thinking.
Did you know what I mean? I thought it would be
I
somewhat.
just was thinking in terms of the whole coordination of the offense. I just think the mechanics change. Not only does his view of the game change, he's got
both sides of the ball.
Because he's running the defense too.
Both sides of the ball.
He's got a lot. Joe's going to have a lot on his plate this year. So, and that will take some adjustment, and that's understandable, but we'll see.
I'm still on
your glasses, Michael.
No.
There were a lot of comments
I know
that were people were very worried about the glasses in one episode.
You being stomping on them.
I know.
I'm still team trade for a defensive end, draft a wide receiver early.
And by the way, Diana Rossini, I would say friend of the pod. We got to talk to her at Combine.
Yes.
We were trying to get her to come on the pod. So we were.
It's been a year.
I heard a clarification of her Max Crosby thing that went from he said he wants to play for Mike Vrabel. And then later I heard her say he has said he wants to play for Mike Vrabel. Now, I don't know when. We'll have to find out. Diana, if you're watching, subscribe, I'm sure.
Shout out Stephen Bond.
Yes. That you will talk to us about this, because I'd be curious when we're at Combine, we'll talk to her and see what she has to say about it. But, you know, these guys will say a lot of that stuff.
They will.
You know, they want to play for all the teams that have the money. And, you know, I mean,
I can't wait till everybody at the Combine, every wide receiver would love to catch passes from Josh Allen.
That's why I don't like the Combine. Another reason.
It's so good.
It's just, it's
the best.
It's just a big gossip sesh.
It's the best.
It's the best. Can't wait. Can't wait.
I'm just sad I'm not going for Elmo's.
All
right.
Bring it back something.
All right. We'll do. Great.
A t-shirt.
I was going to say shrimp cocktail to go.
Yeah.
I do like that horseradish sauce. Okay. Let's do a little bit of life advice, a couple questions. We want to thank everyone. Great questions we've had so far. Remember, the email is heybuffaloplus@gmail.com if you have some questions.
So last week we talked about driving.
We talked
Ugly
about
sweater.
ugly sweater.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. This week we're going to talk about houses and then garbage plates.
So we got some responses too on the driving and the and more about the driving. I think a couple of people mentioned that they do not like when their kids drive and they've never gotten used to it, and let them take as long as they want. And I understand that side of it. It was the idea of person had written in and said 16-year-old and you want them to do all of those things. You never get over your kids driving. Like, it is.
Even now?
Yeah, because my kids are both in New York.
Yeah.
They don't drive a lot at all. And Carly has
And your
better.
third kid doesn't either.
Yeah, seriously.
That is true.
None of your kids drive.
Charlotte's the only one who drives.
Yeah.
The fourth kid.
I was going to say, not for me.
So you do never really get over. So I understand that, but there is that point where you're like, hey, go to the store for me. Or
Yes, I
you
can imagine.
go to your own stuff and then whatever it is. And then the next part is giving them a vehicle to drive, because that costs you.
Oof. What was your first car?
Oh, it's unbelievable. You would never be able to guess. Haven't I even showed you the picture? I wonder if we could put in a picture in here.
It was a van.
Yeah, it was 1992 maroon Toyota Previa. It looked like a spaceship, and it had 268,000 miles on it. And then by the time I was done, the driver's side didn't open and the sliding door didn't open either. So you had to get in through the passenger, and then that person would have to open up the driver's side. Like, it was, by the time it was done, it was a metal death trap, but it got me to Fredonia.
Oh,
What
my
kind of
God.
van? Is it like a creepy
Hold on.
van?
What is it called? Previa?
1992 Toyota Previa. I'll show it to Mike because I've brought up pictures of this.
This?
That maroon. This one. This was the van.
It looks like a beetle.
Oh my God.
Oh, so
It was just a premonition that you were going to have 3 kids.
probably, but this was also, I had played baseball all summer and hockey all winter. So I never worked. So my parents, I was like, well, you guys got Brad a car. And they were like, we didn't get Brad a car. He had money because he worked like a normal teenager. So I had no money. My parents were like, I'm not buying you a car. So I had $300 saved up. And I bought that thing.
What'd you do with the other $200?
That is the ugliest.
When I see that van, if I see that van in a parking lot,
you
I'm
stay away.
staying away.
You stay away.
And I tell you,
I used
stay
to
away.
leave the keys in it. I was like, if
This
somebody,
is the ugliest car I've literally
Yep. That's the exact, you were like sitting on the engine. It was like, but you could throw a lot of hockey bags and you could fit a lot of people in it.
Now that's fine. I don't know what Jenna had as like a teenager or whatever. I do know the car she had when she first started working for us. Oh my God. She gave me a ride in the car one time. I got in there because you were taking me to get my car. I had so much dog hair over me. It was a disaster.
My
of a vehicle.
Subaru, I had a Subaru Impreza, but my first car was a Honda CRV. I can't remember what year it was.
It had to be nicer than your Subaru.
Well, no, so my brother and sister had it and then I got it. And by the time I got it, someone had spilled like a Dunkachino down, or like, what was the iced one?
Yep.
A coffee culotta down the driver's side window. So when you tried to roll up the window, it sounded like a gun going on.
Oh
It was
my
like,
I don't think any of my windows worked.
oh my gosh.
I had a 1978 Monte Carlo with T-tops. It was my brother's.
Whoa.
And I got the car. This was in the
1978. What is it?
Monte Carlo with T-tops. Do you know what T-tops are?
No.
T-tops is like you could take the top.
Oh my gosh. Wait, this is cool.
Yeah. Well, yeah.
What color was it?
Maroon.
Yeah, I did.
And then you would pull them off the car. It was like sort of like a convertible.
Yes.
And then you
That's
would
way
slide
cooler
them in
than
the
my
back.
Toyota
That
Prius.
car?
It was a version of that. And
That's a cool car.
and they had velour seats.
Oh my God.
I might have burned a hole in the velour seats.
Not high.
Not
No,
high.
maybe high.
Oh my God. Okay, let's get to this week's
This
question.
was in the
Comment in your first car.
I actually do love hearing that.
I actually do think that I got more money when the car eventually just stopped. It went up to Fredonia, never made it back.
For like junk.
I got way more.
Or like scrap metal.
Yeah, it was worth way more metal than what I
I
actually
mean, that
bought.
car was a lot of
It
metal.
was a family friend, neighbor. Again, I had $300 and they were like, yeah, we're going to get rid of this thing.
Yes.
And I was like, here's $300.
Oh my
and I
God.
drove that
you
car
overpaid.
for like 2.5 years.
Wow.
Wow.
Did Renee see you drive that car?
No,
Oh,
never met
okay.
Renee in that
Yeah.
car.
Been an
Good
ick
question.
moment.
It would have been
Yeah.
an ick. Oh my
Never
gosh.
saw Renee in that car. And then
Okay.
I got a Buick Regal after that.
Oh, that's
Well, that was in the same
Yeah.
realm as this.
Yeah,
as Monte
that was
Carlo.
sweet.
It might have been. You might have gotten my old car.
And then you also remember that time when like you have that moment where like your car is like done. Like your Subaru was pretty close to that like a couple times.
She was cooked.
Yeah, I just remember backing out of my driveway, my parents' house, with this Buick Regal, and hearing something as I like hit, and then just being like, "This is it. This was the moment. Like it's never gonna to fix it was gonna be way more expensive
I
than
had
anything."
an old car once, and I was trading it in, and each time I went to the dealership, I was trying to get the other car. I had to park it in a different spot because that baby was leaking so much oil. I just was like, I didn't want to pull away and them see a big pool of oil.
Yeah, that's always
So,
bad.
yeah.
My dad resold my Subaru and
That's-
said
that- he
said it
could go
was
up on
it was
charges
it
for selling
was
that car.
a girl owned the car, so
Oh
she
my
took care of it. I was like, yeah, I didn't take
The
care
amount
of
of
that.
dog hair that was in that car.
Yeah.
That was ridiculous.
Okay,
Okay.
let's get to our question.
right.
So, we're gonna only do a couple, but hey, Buffalo Plus, I'm getting out of the military in September, and my wife and I are planning on moving to Rochester or Syracuse area and buying our first home. Any tips for house hunting or buying? Thanks, Alexis and Leah.
Thank you for your service.
Yes.
Appreciate it. What are you gonna say? Because you got your finger up.
I was just going to say, call my mother-in-law or sister-in-law,
Amy Freeling.
Amy or Rita, because they are phenomenal.
Yes.
The goats.
Realtors. But I guess a lot of it depends. There's a lot of great places to live in our area.
There
depending
really
on what
are.
you want.
Yep.
You can be in places where you're in a absolute neighborhood, houses next to each other. You can go out to, Mendon, or you can go to a place where you got a ton of space.
Yeah.
Depending on where you want to be. So I would say that would be the thing.
Yeah.
Schools are an issue. Yeah.
My biggest thing is looking at problems that will be a 365 problem.
They listen to me.
That is a Mike Catalana line, but like apartments I looked at not having a dishwasher when I was renting. And you being like, that is a 365 problem that you will have to deal with. In the beginning, you're like, oh, it's no big deal. But every day it would add up. Is it in the driveway where you have to be, you are essentially right behind each other? Now you can do the gymnastics of every day moving around the cars.
Tetris did that.
But
It's awful.
but that is something to be aware of. And I think it's not like your house hunting is stressful overall, but if you can kind of pinpoint those little things, I think it actually can help you make, when properties are pretty similar, like a more informed decision.
Yeah. That the 365 problem was what we were looking for a house on the east side after moving out of our starter house. And the first house we went to, loved it. It was in our price range. And the driveway was a cliff.
Oh, that's the worst.
And
my daughter was doing the same thing, looking at a house. She said the driveway was a disaster. And like,
even
you
Amy
can't
was
do
like,
that every day.
Amy was like, kids with this, like walking out of the bus stop, this is going to be a problem. And Mike said it's a 365-day problem. Our first starter home for Renee and I was in East Irondequoit, little suburb just off the city. So we were like 10 minutes from everything. That was a lot of fun. So that was where we were in East Irondequoit.
Yeah.
Pretty reasonably priced houses there. Everything's expensive now.
Yeah.
But
I do think the great thing about Rochester is essentially everything is like 20 minutes away.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So you can find what areas you want. And then it's pretty much 20 minutes away to wherever you want to go.
But no place is going to be perfect.
Correct.
But if there are ways to adjust, if you have the space and the rooms need to be redone, I know that's a pain. I know it can be expensive, but there is nothing like having the ability to build from within.
Yeah.
Because once you start breaking down walls and building out, it's really crazy expensive. I know a lot of these things are things people will tell you, but when you look, have your eyes wide open and look at things. Can I change the closet? Can I do this? Because we made mistakes in this house that we bought, and it was right around the corner from us, because there were certain things it was like, oh, I wish I would have thought this or thought that. But if you can adjust it, if you want to, if you say after we get in a year later, we can finish the basement, we can convert that room.
Yeah.
That's a nice
Yes.
way to get more space and to do things. Can we take down a wall to open up the kitchen? Like, because sometimes you go in a place and then you're like, I didn't realize that's a weight-bearing wall and we can't go anywhere.
Yeah, it's so true.
Those are all things.
Always check the water pressure.
Yes.
That's like the first thing I do.
The shower queen.
Yes.
She knows.
And storage. How many closets do you have? How big are the closets? What's the basement like? Like, I just feel like if you're going to live in a house, it is astonishing how much crap you can accumulate when you have a house. Just like, oh, I got a basement, I can put it wherever. Or just by living, you get so much stuff, but making sure you have adequate closet space.
Pay attention more to the steak than the sizzle. Because you'll walk in some houses that look super cool, painted a certain way.
Yeah.
And you're like, but you could always change that. I hate to say it, it's expensive, but like you could change the facing of the cabinets or you could get them repainted. But if the kitchen is landlocked and you can't change it, that's a steak problem, not a sizzle problem.
Yes.
Love it.
It's very true.
It's all part of my book.
You have to write a book. Like I've talked about, this has been like 10 years I've talked to you about this.
Will not write a chapter.
You won't read a chapter.
He's going to proofread it for me.
Oh my God. Yeah. All right. Next question. Hey, Buffalo Plus. My friend is coming to visit me in Rochester and wants to try a garbage plate for the first time. Mike just dropped his glasses. Where should we go to get it? In parentheses, he said, I already have an answer in my head, but I'm interested to hear what you have to say. Also, bonus food question for Mike. As a New Jersey expert, is it Taylor ham or pork roll? Best,
Ooh,
Jacob.
That's interesting. I would say pork roll would be what I would say of those two. I would say, what do they say in Shark Tank? It's like, and for that reason, I am out.
Yes.
One garbage plate in my life. It was before I actually moved to Rochester. Don't like them. Tried it. I was drinking that night. Still didn't like it. Never. I've had the ingredients of them separated.
Yeah, it's not that hard.
Right.
I would imagine
You've been to a
right. I'm saying it's
a
like
barbecue
I've gone
before.
to places where they say, "Oh, we have garbage plates."
Yeah.
But I just don't make it like a garbage plate. So for that reason, I'm out.
Okay. I don't like the meat hot. There's something I don't like the cinnamon or whatever in it. I do like a garbage plate though. I will just get like Frank's Red Hot or whatever karma sauce. But I like Charlie's. That is where I get my plates. There's one in Webster. I think there's a couple actually. I think there's one in Canandaigua now too, and then there's one in Ontario. But I go to Charlie's.
How often?
I get a plate at least once a year.
Oh,
Once
I thought
a
you were saying a
year.
week.
No,
Yeah.
Say.
why?
I was like you were saying once a month, which I was like, that's still
I
too many for a grown
I
adult.
probably get 2 garbage plates a year. I
Yeah.
don't get them a lot. I do like them when I get them, but like you feel abysmal
See,
after.
that's the thing that
Do we need to explain? Because we have viewers all over.
That's
the
actually
place.
very. You know what? We should.
Okay.
We should.
Daniel.
so a garbage plate.
Yeah, the Rochesterian.
Yeah, I guess. Is everything in one container on one plate. So it's mac salad, home fries, cheeseburgers or hot dogs, all on the plate, all piled up with a meat sauce, ketchup, onions, mustard, all those things on top of it. Did I explain that correctly?
You just said all those things. That's why I laughed.
By the way, it's sort of like a bowl, except it's stuff that probably shouldn't all be
you can do
together.
beans
You can do
instead
baked
of
beans,
mac
yeah.
salad. You can do French fries. You can do double
It's very
home fries.
adaptable.
Yeah.
Again, I don't like the meat hot, so I will do. No, I'm saying like I will do ketchup and hot sauce and some onion. I say onion weird, I guess.
No,
That sounds about
that's what
right.
we say.
Onion.
You say a lot of other things.
Yeah.
So I guess I'm the only one that grew up here in
Yeah.
Rochester.
Yeah.
And so once you're in like high school, like that is like it's a staple of what you eat on a weekly basis.
I believe that.
So when we're at training camp or people come up to us and say like, oh, like the Rochester thing, like where do I get a garbage plate? Now being 34 years old, I do not eat garbage plates anymore. They were something we did when we were 19 through 25, and it was after a night of drinking because they would deliver you garbage plates up until 4 a.m.
That's
So,
insane.
so you would go out to
That's
the bars,
wild.
you'd get home, you'd be hungry, you'd order plates or on your way home, and then they would get there at 2 a.m.
Right down the street from a place in a training camp is
Hungry.
literally a place called Hungry's.
Yes. So
Which is
I've never been there.
Thirsties and Hungry's.
I do
It's
think that's
phenomenal.
funny.
but the most common place people would probably say is Nick Tahoe's.
Yeah.
That's
Yes.
the place
That's
in,
like the original garbage.
Yes.
correct.
Dogtown, I know, has a good
But
one.
Dogtown has good plates as well. That's on Monroe Ave.
Yes.
But the thing to think about is Rochester has all of their little suburbs and every place has their own Hots place. So growing up in Webster, we would always go to Empire Hots because that's what was down the street. We used to get done playing a hockey game, varsity hockey game, and then everybody would go and eat an entire plate. Like that was just,
Should have ate them before the game. That
Like,
would have been wild.
it's just thinking about it now at 34 years old is insane.
Yeah,
And,
you like I'm sure you like didn't have water either.
no, you got like the water cups. Like that's all that you got. Like, cause like you were like, I had my $10 to get my plate. And then you're like, I'll have a water cup. Like, but so every place, like when we were living in Brighton or when we were living in like Penfield Hots has another good plate that we've had. Like, so it's kind of wherever you were is what the plate that you grew up on. So it's kind of funny when people say, well, where should I get a plate? You're like, wherever you are.
because that meat hot can be different, different places you go. But I think Dogtown is very popular, like you said.
Nick Tahoe's.
Nick Tahoe's is popular. I like Charlie's in Webster. Angry Goat has a good one. Jenny Brewhouse does have
Jenny
a good
Brewhouse
one.
has a good one.
Yeah,
Wow.
But yeah.
A lot of free ads we're giving away here.
yeah. Like
Wish-
That's
Hey.
all right. That's a big Rochester thing, but not everybody is.
yeah,
Just wasn't for me.
it's too good for you, finance bro.
But that's the thing is like, I can't imagine like going on your lunch break and being like, you know where I'm going to
Oh.
go? Charlie's. I need a plate. You're like, what? You're going to go back to work after this?
You need
This
a
was
nap
something you-
after.
Yeah, this was something you ate, and then in the morning you're like, did I eat it or did I rub it on my face? You're like, this is, I am like, you couldn't wait to throw out the bag that had like the grease in it in the morning. It was like, this is gross.
By the way, in case anybody doesn't know, we have a lot of really good restaurants in Rochester. So
Yeah,
Yeah.
but everything comes out as like they say, oh, Rochester, garbage plates.
Correct.
Yes.
It's-
Yeah, it's like the regional
It's
dish.
cheesesteaks in Philly. It's wings in Buffalo.
yes.
It's what you're known
You know, I get mad though because garbage plates are tasty, but like visually horrendous looking.
Yeah.
Like looking at a picture of a garbage plate, if you were to look it up and didn't know what it was, you're like, I will never put that in my
Yeah.
body.
Yeah.
But they're actually very tasty.
But again, the minor league baseball team on Thursdays, they are
The plates.
The plates. Like it is what Rochester is known for, like Mike was saying.
Yeah. Okay. All right. I think we're good.
Well, we got a lot taken care of here.
We got range.
Yeah.
We got range. Okay.
We got off season. So
Yeah. Comment in your first car because I'm genuinely curious now. I want to know.
Comment in on your garbage plate.
Yeah. What's your garbage
intake.
plate order as well? And also your takeaways from the Super Bowl and what you think it means now for the Bills. We want to hear all that stuff.
I probably haven't had a plate in 6 years.
Really? So every year, the Saturday after Thanksgiving, Zach's family has a tradition where they go get garbage plates and then they go to pick out their Christmas trees. So
They
we've
have
been
a lot
doing
of
that.
nice traditions.
They
They're
have a
fans.
The
great-
Smiths do have a ton of
Yeah.
They do,
traditions.
and I love it.
Yeah.
I love it. But yeah, it's like I get my
Jenna
one
loves
plate.
because you get food.
Yeah.
Food's involved in the tradition.
And then you go on a walk. It's perfect.
right up your alley.
Yeah.
All right.
Okay. All right. Please be sure to like, comment, subscribe, and share. We're closing in on 45,000 subs. So we would really appreciate more subs. Be sure to share like we talked about. For Mike and Dan, I am Jenna. We'll catch you next time here on the Buffalo Plus channel.
Now, from the Connors and Ferris podcast studio, this is Buffalo Plus, your interactive look at the week in football.